The following announcement is very important. Please listen carefully and stick through until the end of it. Hello everyone, I'm Jan, and this is an update video on a certain matter that I already talked to you about in different occasions. Before I begin, here's a premise. Because of confidential reasons, I won't be able to disclose every single detail about this matter. In a similar way, I won't be able to give out names and titles that might belong to people and company departments. I'm not making this video in order to cause any reaction. The reason why I am is because I feel that you all need and deserve to know what's been going on in the last several months. We are going to be talking about my experience with Hasbro on the cease and desist matter. It all started about a year and a half ago. As many of you know, I was doing Funworks back then, until I received a letter from the legal firm of this company and had to stop any and all fan productions involving said company's product and remove most of my videos from my YouTube channel. From that day on, I've been exchanging emails with Hasbro's lawyer, which we will call A, and that went on for entire months, without really leading anywhere except to being allowed to re-upload a few of my videos and making me keep my hopes high. Then, one day, A tells me that another person at Hasbro from a different department than the legal one wants to talk with me about the matter. We are going to call this person B. Once again, the email exchanging cycle began. Long story short, B actually wanted to discuss with me on the phone, which led me to think that finally, after several months, things were starting to move in a good direction. B basically told me that Hasbro was interested in discussing this further, so things started to look promising in a certain way. The plan was having a conference call with some other people. However, weeks passed and this started to look like their primary intention was stalling on me more than actually going further. They certainly didn't show the interest they claimed on having. Now, here's a detail on the call I had with B, which is going to be important later on. B said that after the conference call with other members of the company, I would have been able to re-upload my Funworks. However, actually continuing them was still something to talk about. So after basically a couple of months of waiting for replies and email exchanging, B comes back to me with yet another contact of yet another different department of the company. So here's when C enters the scene. After being presented to C, the person supposed to lead the conference call, the stalling continued to happen. No matter how much I waited or how much things seemed to actually get better and or go further, the 2 weeks gap between my emails and their replies was still there. At this point, I started to feel like nothing more than a hot potato being tossed around from person to person until I was cold enough to be eaten. I mean, I understand since you're a large multinational company, I am the least of your worries and priorities. I get that. But at this point of the story, it's been basically a year and I've only been asking for a clear yes or no answer. Why stalling so much? Why being so vague? Why not just give me an answer already? I kept on thinking, they could have said no straight away. If they didn't, they must have something in mind. And that's what kept me hoping and fighting. Anyway, I'm drifting away from the story, let's try to cut this short. After a few months of exchanging emails with C, we finally had that conference call, which by the way has been delayed by 2 weeks not once but twice. In this conference call, I got to talk with C and 2 more people. One of them is not relevant to the story, but we'll call the other one D. D represented yet another department, and from that point on I was supposed to refer to D for any and all discussions. Anyway, what was the conference call about? I can't tell much, but opportunities and ideas were discussed. Most importantly, I've been told that I could not continue nor re-upload my Funworks, which, if you remember, is the exact opposite of what B told me a few months back in the story. Anyway, the matter was far from over, so I tried to contact B again about this. At the same time, I was exchanging emails with C and D, no pun intended, until I got a reply from D saying that C was no longer working for the company. So, as for now, my only contacts were D, B and A. Weeks passed and still no response from D, and since B never replied to any of my emails after the conference call, I started contacting A, the lawyer, once again. Sure enough, no replies from this person either. After a few more weeks, even D stopped replying, and that is where I started realizing that they simply decided to ignore me. Sure enough, so it was. It's been another 4 months now, and another reply has yet to arrive. And this pretty much covers what happened between me and this company in the last year and a half. Were they just waiting for me to lose interest? If they didn't have the intention to solve this matter with me, why didn't they say no straight away? Maybe the reason was that by giving a no as an answer, they would have angered the fan base again. And since they couldn't or didn't want to give me a yes as an answer, they just kept on stalling and tossed me around other company members, wasting more than a year of my life, filling me up with false hopes and lies. And that's it. That's all I can say and share about this experience. Needless to say, it wasn't pretty. I honestly found their way of handling this very unprofessional and even aggravating at times. I would talk more about how this whole thing made me feel, but I'm not here to play the role of the victim. As I said before, I'm only here to share facts with you guys, since you all need and deserve to know what's been going on. Unfortunately, this ultimately settles the fact that I won't be able to continue any fan work involving ponies or any other Hasbro product. I realized that a lot of people here were just following me for those, and I will understand it if you'll feel the need to unsubscribe now that I can't provide you with what you like anymore, even if it doesn't depend on me. So to everyone that will unsubscribe because of this, thanks for the ride. And to everyone that will stick around for original projects, thank you for your support. Only problem is, original concepts really take a long time to develop, so you gotta be patient. Well, it's really everything now. I will see you next time, but in the meanwhile I suggest you to follow me on Twitter. It's where I announce and hint to whatever I'm working on before actually releasing it. With that being said, I wish you all a nice day. Thank you for listening and see you next time.